What's going on, everyone? Chris here, real estate agent located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Super excited to finally be able to say that. And for today's video, I'm going to fly through the entire process on how you can become licensed as a real estate agent. To start off, I just want to say this is the process that I just went through in the state of Ohio, but always make sure you do your own due diligence while looking into this information, especially if you're going to make a decision from it. So to start off, let's go into the school. I chose Hondros College. I really recommend this college. Great content, good resources, and I was able to fly through it at my own pace since I went online with my schooling. Other schools are going to allow you to do online or in person. Hondros actually allowed you to do in person. Some schools may even allow hybrids, so you can do online and in person. So figure out what works best for you. For me, I was able to fly through it, I think, in about 2 months. And I think you have a limit of 6 months to complete your schooling overall. So the way it's broken up is you have 4 main sections in school. Alright, so you're going to go through one section at a time, starting with practices and principles. Then you have law, then you have finance, then you have appraisal. So let me just give you a quick overview on how it works. At least for me with the online structure is each module or each section has modules in it. Practices and principles and law each had 8 modules in it, while the other 2 only had 4 modules in it. So with these modules, what it was set up for me was you have a presentation of usually maybe 100 to 200 slides and videos, and each slide's going to have different information listed on it that you can read. And then you have the videos that are usually someone just summarizing the information. So there's different strategies of getting through the schooling. If you need to read the information to retain it, then I would say read each slide and watch the videos. But if not, if you're more of a video person, then maybe kind of skim over the slides with words on it a little bit faster and then just watch the videos. At the end of each module, you'll have a quiz you have to take over that information. And you'll have to get like a 70% or higher, and you can always retake this quiz until you pass it. After you finish all of the modules for this section, you will then have to take an exam and pass the exam. If you fail it, just retake it, but you'll then get a certificate for that section. So after you do that for all 4 sections, you should be finished with school with a total of 4 certificates. So congratulations, you're now done with schooling. The next step is figuring out which brokerage you're going to want to work with. So this is the time you're going to look up all the available brokerages in your area and figure out which one's going to work best for you. So you want to go interview them face to face, talk to the brokerage, see how they operate. You're interviewing them, all right? That's something you should remember. You're interviewing the brokerage. They're not interviewing you, all right? They want to recruit you, but they're trying to get your business. They want you to be an agent at their firm. So you take that in mind and make sure that you don't get sucked into a brokerage super easily. Make sure that they're the right fit. Once you know what brokerage you want to use, they'll then give you some paperwork to fill out where you'll share the certificates with them saying, hey, I finished my schooling, let's get the initial paperwork set up, and they'll supply you with the paperwork to send the state. So basically, you need to get an application approved from the state so you can then schedule your exam. So that paperwork you'll fill out, you'll then put your certificates of all 4 classes with that paperwork, and usually you'll have to put a check for the processing fee. After you send out your state application, you then need to get your background check and get that background check sent to the state as well. So they need your 4 certificates, your application, and your background check to approve you for the exam. Some time will pass, they'll process the paperwork, and then you'll hopefully get approved. They'll reach back out to you saying, hey Chris, you're approved, you can now schedule your exam. So awesome, I'm gonna schedule my exam now for whenever I want. Usually you can either do online from your house or you can go in person. So I did the online exam from right here at this desk actually, and it was proctored, so you need to make sure you have a microphone, a camera, and so on, maybe on your laptop. So super easy process though, and you always want to decide on when you want your exam scheduled, because by the time I finished schooling and took my exam, there was probably a 1 to 2 month window where I was just waiting for stuff to get processed and approved. So always decide how much time you need, because you want to make sure that you study enough to where you can confidently know all the information. For me, that was only 5 days because I just spent a lot of time going through, taking a lot of practice tests, which is something I really recommend. Take a lot of practice tests. And depending on which school you use, for me, Hondros with the package I went, which was the second package and out of 3 packages, there were 3 of them and I chose the middle one. So I had a lot of resources to study properly for the test and take it. So the way the exam is set up, there's 2 main sections. You have the national section and then you have the state section. So national is going to be everywhere in the United States, and then the state's going to be specific for your state. So there's 80 questions on the national section and there's 40 questions on the state section. And each of these are separated into their own sections, and you need to pass each one to get licensed. But if you fail one section and pass the other, you'll have to reschedule your exam and only take that one section that you failed. So once you pass both sections, which I did on my first attempt, was super happy about that, you then reach back out to your brokerage, or they'll reach back out to you and get the next paperwork that you need to fill out. So you'll get all the rest of the paperwork set up with the brokerage, and then you'll need to pay your dues for the Board of Realtors. So my brokerage was very hands-on. They said, here, this is the steps you need to take. Here's the paperwork, da-da-da-da-da. They guided me along throughout this process pretty well. The brokerage I chose was Key Realty. Great people, great community, great resources, and the biggest thing is the cap was very low. It's $4,500. If you don't know what a cap is, it's basically what you have to pay every year to your brokerage. Usually there's different payment plans. For me, I'm doing like a 50-50 commission split, but a lot of brokerages out there have really, really high caps. And that might work for you. That might be something that you're okay with because the resources that the brokerage provides is worth it. So always look into this, and I tie that back to figuring out which brokerage you're going to. Look into the cap. Look into the resources that they provide. What do you need? Do you want to be on a team? Do you want to be a solo agent? That's a whole other video, whole other videos that I could make going into each aspect of that. But with the Board of Realtor fees, my brokerage said, here, you need to sign in to the CABR, which is the Cincinnati Board of Realtors. Set this information and pay all the fees. Luckily for me, all the fees were in one big payment, so I didn't have to, go through each one and find it. So pretty simple. Ask your brokerage questions. They'll help you figure out what to do. But that is basically everything. That's the entire process, every nitty-gritty thing that you have to do. Of course, it's going to be a slow process, so you're going to have time to really look into each aspect of this and do it right. But yeah, go attack it head on. I wish you the best. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Leave a comment down below. Add me on Facebook. Shoot me a PM. I would be happy to help. And then always have a great day. Cheers.